Hey everybody, we've been having some pretty nasty weather here in northern Michigan. Not sure how it is out by you, but it has been very, very windy and there's been quite a bit of rain, well over an inch of rain so far, and the wind has been relentless. And if I stand still for a minute, you can see all our hanging baskets just swinging on their own, and that's what happens around here when we start getting all that wind. And winds for us, I mean, this is really extreme for us because normally high winds for us is basically anything in the 20s is considered windy. Right now, we've had sustained winds for a couple hours at least 45 miles per hour with gusts up to 60 miles per hour. We're not built for that here, so we're making do, and the place seems to be holding itself together, so that's good. But I did notice a couple things that I just want to show you that make us a little nervous. Okay, see this door and how it seems to be breathing? Well, that is not supposed to be happening. But what we've got going on in here is we have lost the bubble in greenhouse 5. So that means there's a tear somewhere, and so our bubble is not inflated. And that's not a good thing because that means we're losing our insulation. Fortunately, the temperature is not terrible right now, but we're either going to have to find the hole and patch it, or we have to end up replacing the plastic because we will need that insulation for these plants. That we're going to be getting some temperatures that are going to be too low. So this is a little bit of stress that we really weren't anticipating. So I think I found our hole. Definitely has let loose from the wiggle wire. So hopefully when the wind stops, we'll be able to get that tucked back in. We should be pretty lucky with that. If that's the problem, that's a much easier problem to solve than if we had a lot of holes or anything like that. So fingers crossed that that's the only issue we have. Greenhouse 7 and our hillside cold frame are both under a lot of pressure right now, but they seem to be holding up. Meanwhile, the greenhouses on the east side of the property are all doing just fine. They're not getting hit with that direct blast, and so they're just kind of rocking and shaking, but they're able to move along. Thank goodness these greenhouses are very durable. Now, worst case scenario, we lose plastic on a greenhouse, which is terrifying. I don't even want to think about it, but we should be okay. I am worried about greenhouse 5 and that starting to rip off, but at this point it's still safe as long as it doesn't get any worse. Fingers crossed. But we do have another thing happening here in greenhouse 3.5. So clearly there is a hole somewhere, and all this water and rain is starting to get in between the bubble, which is not something we really want. Earlier it was all the way almost getting up to the fan, the blower here, and so we definitely don't want any water getting into that. We normally wouldn't do this, but we decided to punch a hole and let it drain a little bit just because we wanted to get that out. We didn't want to get it in blower, and this little hole should be pretty easy to fix. Now, all this disgusting stuff that's floating in there, those are all dead flies. They get in there, they die, and it's just one of those things that's gross, but it's there and it's just part of the business here. If anybody knows a way to get rid of them easily, let me know. Hey everybody, it's the next morning. We made it through the storm. The sun is out. It's a little chilly. I should have put on a jacket, but all is well. The greenhouse 5, where the plastic had let go, my nephew had come by with one of his buddies and they were able to pull it tight, get reattached, which is such a relief because anytime you have an opening like that, that can be a recipe for disaster. So they got that taken care of. So that was a very good thing to have done before anything got worse. Then also that water reservoir collecting in the bubble in greenhouse 3.5, that is completely drained. Now we just have to patch that hole. So we made it through this in pretty good shape. It was a little touch and go, I think, for a while there as the winds were picking up and there was no sign of any relief. But now everything seems to be under control and we got to get back to work. So talk to you guys all very, very soon.